Hello everybody and welcome to Louis in London, where today we're going to be going all around London to all the wacky and interesting places. Right now we are currently outside the lovely Abbey Road Studios, which is where the Beatles have recorded most of their famous hits. We've got the road over here. Here comes the sun. And that's pretty much it. So let's get on to our first location, which is Paddington Station.
The second location in which we went to was Paddington Station, which was a bit of a flop. I mean, you may think of Paddington as that small little bear that eats marmalade, in which you would be right. But also the backstory behind that is Michael Bond, who wrote Paddington in 1958. They then later turned the bear into a whole future film, which came out in 2014 with a equally worse sequel a little bit after. But a little bit about the station is that it is the grand terminals for the Great Western Railway that Isambard Kingdom Brune I always intended, because he was one of the main architects for the place. Pretty boring, I cannot lie. The third location that I went to that day was the Natural History Museum, which is a museum located on Cromwell Road in South Kensington, London. Of course, because it is Louis in London, am I right?
So now we're at the Natural History Museum. As you can see here, we're going to be showing you a few of the exhibits, and it is all free of charge. It's a great hit with the tourists, and it's a great hit with your boy.
Did you know that the rarest object is the Winchcombe meteorite, also known as the carbonaceous chondrite? That is way too many words for my brain to comprehend. And there's only 1,000 out of 65,000. So, London's got its own exclusive. Another fact is that the institution includes current and historical records of animals, plants, fungi, ecosystems, geology, paleontology, climatology, and much more. The place is great. The Natural History Museum is home to all of these weird and wacky pieces of history, ranging from fossils to animals to little rocks to random pieces of dinosaur tooth. So here are some facts. The Natural History Museum is home to over 80 million objects, whether they're big, small, strange, weird, large, dinosaur. You have to pay £50 to look at a dinosaur for some reason.
It's my biggest fan. And it's in a cage. It's a fan in a cage.
Moving towards the end of the evening, the group started to get a bit tired. Train stations started shutting, plans decided to get cancelled, and we thought, where better to spend the rest of our evening other than Camden? Camden Market, Camden Lock, Camden, Can I just go home at this point? But anyways, let's get into some facts. Did you know that bouncy castles were invented in Camden? Which is kind of strange, because the only thing I remember bouncing is the punk that gets drunk's head off of the concrete after he buggers me for more change every time I go there. But that's besides the point. Fact number 2. Dua Lipa actually grew up in Camden, alongside Amy Winehouse. Flippin' hell, I swear there was a Winehouse down the road as well as. The market attracts over 28 million tourists and visitors each year.
I'm not stroking that one.
And one-of-a-kind shopping experiences will be had there.
I would say it's a very gothic, alternative culture. It's gotten more modern over the years, but yeah, I'd say it's very gothic. We have a load of regular customers that come, and they're part of a huge gothic community. There's a bit of everything. I'd say gothic, punk, steampunk, Victorian. But yeah, it's like the home of gothicness, basically.
Charles Pratt in 1773 adapted Camden and made it his own, and it was named after him. Other than that, it's not really a lot about Camden. Really nice, colourful place. All bits like that. You see the stuff on the walls, you see the stuff on the floor.
More than 8 months. Yeah, it's very nice, very good one. Like talking to customers, different type of customers, very good one. People from different countries, different parts, so it can be a mixture of culture, mixed culture over here. Yeah, and it's also like the very good. Also the support you each and everyone. So also it's a good support from management. So good one.
So guys, we are now back at St Pancras International, just over to the left of us, and we are now calling it a day. We did a few nice little things to show you guys what you can do in London on a budget, and a few cool things that you can just do on a nice day out. So I've been Louis in London, and peace.
Two weeks later.
What would you rate Abbey Road out of 10?
I feel like Abbey Road as a whole was a pretty enjoyable experience, especially for a Beatle lover like me. And I just feel as if like the amount of people that go there just to express their love for the Beatles and everything to surround them, and when we went there it was still quite busy and we went quite early, so I feel like it's a nice little community thing where everyone from all over the globe goes just to kind of like express their love for the same people all together. I would definitely recommend Abbey Road to anybody, even if you don't know the Beatles, because I feel like just the significant like history it has, like, and it's literally just a road with a studio on it, but it's all about the history behind it. And if you are such a massive fan of the Beatles, then you just get to experience the piece of history with them, and that's why it's so good, because it's literally you walk across the road that they walked on, which I feel for me was a very big achievement. I say the Natural History Museum for me was probably about a 6, just because personally I don't really like history or museums, but for someone that would, I feel as if it was very informative for the time I was there, but I just felt as if it was just a bit overrated in my opinion. But then again, it's free, so you can't really go wrong when it's free. And plus the wait times were low, so you could get in there easily, quickly, barely any bag search. But all in all, I would probably say it was a good 6 out of 10. Just, it wasn't for me, but I feel as if for somebody else, they would enjoy it a lot more. Yeah, like, for people that love history, love the whole thing about it, and especially just even being in London and get to experience some of the history that we have, I feel as if it was very cool. And even when they show stuff from all around the world, such as the earthquake part that we had in it earlier in the documentary. So yeah, I feel like I would recommend it to any tourists or newcomers, or even people like me who hadn't been there in a long time and got to re-experience it all again. I would say Camden for me is probably about 5, but the only reason that is because, like, for me personally, I thought it gets a bit boring after a while, because I've been there numerous times and you lose your love for it after the first or second time you've been there. But after you've been there a lot of the times, then it kind of gets samey. But obviously it's still good, it still holds up well against other places in terms of their food choice and their kind of culture and everything like that. It's still a nice place to go to, but for me on the day, it just wasn't really my cup of tea. But we still managed to get the food, interview the people, to give the people a nice little information and inform them on the kind of history and backstory of it. Definitely. I feel like for people that had never been there before, I would say it's a great hit with a lot of people, just because it's so kind of different in contrast to everywhere else in London that we had been. Because you go from the high-rise, nice-looking buildings to like some random bridge with a bunch of graffiti on it. So I feel like it has that nice little contrast, and especially with all the food markets and all of the clothes shops and all of that kind of thing, I feel as if it's a great hit with newcomers or old comers, but just not Louis Jeffrey.